about gardening and everything else that, I mean,
Really?
we got a long, yeah, there's a lot of information out there that we could give and probably never repeat ourselves. So on our first Monday, in the mornings, we're looking for somebody we're posting general gardening information. At least I'm going to get there as quickly as I can. If there's a member or a business or somebody in the community that would like to contribute to general gardening, it basically covers the basics of gardening, what kind of tools you can use, whether you're putting it in the ground, if you're container gardening because you live in an apartment, if you do raised bed gardening like a lot of us do out here in the hill country, because let's face it, somewhere we don't even have topsoil, we just have caliche sticking out. If you do hay bale gardening, man, the 1 year that we did it, we had fantastic success with it. But we're kind of considering a lot of that to be general gardening. The second Monday, I'm going to be discussing prepping skills. I do have a vast knowledge on how to be a prepper, mostly because I was raised as a prepper, but we are open if somebody would like to contribute their own information. We can sit down and talk about a schedule of things. On third Mondays it's formally known as hydraulic agriculture. I was given that formal name after I was talking to our Texas ag representative recently. He says, and did you know aquaponics was called hydraulic agriculture? And I'm like, I did not know that. I now have something new to share with everyone. But basically, it encompasses aquaculture, aquaponics, hydroponics, aeroponics, anything that has to do with water in the non-traditional sense. And if it has to do with fish, or that you have a closed system, or you're not depending upon rain, that is what hydraulic agriculture is all about. Our fourth Monday, that's going to be a master gardening series. While I am very versed in master gardening techniques, and between my husband and I, we could probably talk about a lot of things until we're blue in the face, and a lot of people are going, okay, tell us more. But if there is a member in the community or a small business that's looking for that advertising boost, we would love to have you share your knowledge with Master Gardening Series. I kind of already have a bunch of topics already planned out that I'll be glad to, add your information onto the graphic that I have and let you go crazy with it. One of the things that we did discover that's kind of a hindrance when posting to Facebook and Instagram is you're only allowed 2,200 characters per post for Instagram. And all of your graphics have to be the same shape and size. They have to be the same ratio. And we found that we have just got so much to talk about that it is very difficult to condense the information down to 2,000 words or less. So what we're doing is anybody who is posting on a specific topic, we are opening up our blogging feature on our website to anybody who wants to add information or present information on a specific topic. You're welcome to post ahead. So that gives me like several months to pull from, when it gets to that time of the month. If you have your own website that you blog on, just send me the link, man. We'll come up with topics. If you already have the topics on your website, I'll gladly use that information to help populate our social media accounts with giving you credit. I mean, we always try to give credit where credit is due. And if it's that little bit extra drive to your social media, to your website, or to your small business, that is what our intentional networking is all about. Now, somebody asked me what happens on the fifth Monday. Well, that's where Robin gets to yap or trap on recruiting for the Agrarian Guild or the Homesteaders and Preppers Guild. Or we can promote an upcoming Homesteaders and Preppers event, which is September 16th, and that's our Fall Bazaar at the Promarosa RV Park. We're already lining up to have a lot of nonprofits out there to talk and share their information. I think we've got a pretty full schedule already of activities that are happening, but we're always willing to share the love if somebody has an activity or they want to take over an activity that we've already scheduled. I do believe I have a post on our pages for that, or it's coming up, one or the other. If not, just email me. Probably the best way to get a hold of me is requiemranch@gmail.com, but I do have information later on how to do that. So one of the things that we always like to keep in mind, and we like to have little motivational quotes, is we need to begin with the end in mind. So what that kind of means is if we know our end result is we need to be prepared for a snowstorm in February in Central Texas, we need to begin our plan with that end result in mind. We know that we are in hurricane season in Texas. We already had tropical storm, what was its name? Yeah, you don't know. Harold, wasn't it? Howard. Harold, I think it was, that kind of came in and dumped a bunch of rain on us, so if we begin being prepared for hurricanes with the end result knowing that a hurricane could come or flood, that's what it is all about. So meet the Homesteaders and Preppers Guild. You're going to find a lot of this just corresponds with the Agrarian Guild and guilds of Requiem as a whole. We are all about creating a network of people looking to share skills, learn new skills, and have meaningful conversations with others. It was established in 2018 while we still had the marketplace of Pipe Creek up front, 16 in Panther Ridge. So it's kind of how long we've been doing this. Our mission, other than what we've already talked about and we've already seen, it's nailing down the actual mission for the Homesteaders and Preppers Guild. That is open for discussion. That is going to be a part of the activity that I have at the Homesteaders and Preppers Guild, probably starting about 11:30 in the morning, maybe a little bit later in that meeting. We are going to have a guilds meeting from 11 a.m. until 12 at the Homesteaders and Preppers Guild. So bring your questions. We'd love to hear them and help answer them. As many have noticed, the Homesteaders and Preppers Guild is going through a rebranding phase, and what that is including is we have updated logos that include our tree of life. We have a standardized lettering that we use in pretty much all of our graphics. We are working on a chapter charter because we do hope at some point in time that the Homesteaders and Preppers Guild or the Agrarian Guild will be self-sufficient in that, yes, there'll probably be membership dues, or there will be sweat equity to have a result, ends to the means. But we do aim for all of our projects and departments to be self-sufficient. And that's the last part, be self-sufficient in our operations. Now, I mentioned earlier about home care products. This was something that we started doing in 2019 and into 2020. Unfortunately, I got very, very sick from that from a mystery upper respiratory virus at the end of 2019 that I have basically told that I cannot produce things anymore, specifically no longer in my home that have any sort of strong smell or scent to them or chemicals. So it kind of got put on the back burner, but it will eventually come back out. And what it is a product line of home care products that falls in line with our philosophy of 6 Cents Apothecary, is that we create products from local, ethically, or quote unquote natural resources. That amounts to that if there is a chemically, say lye, that's the biggest one. We can make lye naturally, but the problem is with that is that you never know the true strength of the lye to make a safe product. Whereas if we go with lab created, chemically they're the same thing, but we know what strength it is that we can easily make safe calculations to create a safe product. So how quickly is this going to come out? It depends on how quickly we can obtain a permanent manufacturing building and with all the needed permits. Because we are creating home care products, there are some permits that we do have to have, specifically in the state of Texas. We do, and one of our end goals is to have a zero carbon footprint with our products. And as a lot of our consumers live out in the country and have septic systems, we also want to be septic system friendly. I'm going to take a drink of water here. So we also have a discussion group on Facebook with the exact same name. And there's actually kind of two places where we're going to find that. Right now, we can be found on Facebook, and that's Requiem's Home, Hearth, and Heart. You can find us. We're a group on Facebook. We do have questions to keep it safe. And yes, I'm talking with my hands for those who can see me. To keep everybody safe, try to reduce spammers and scammers in there. We do have a set of rules that is consistent across the board on all of our groups that we ask everyone to agree. And we're pretty hardline on which rules we will, give you a first pass on. And there's some rules that it's an instant removal and ban. We are aiming towards having a similar group discussion on our website. And once I publish the PDF, this link will be be a hot link. You can also go to our website, www.guildsofrequiem.com. Under the home page, if you hover on it, there'll be a drop-down menu. The first one is the Agrarians Guild. The second one is the Homesteaders and Preppers Guild, and that takes you all to the same website. So once we get to our groups and our forums on the website, what to expect? That's open for discussion. We can continue having discussions that start on Facebook. We can start our own discussions that are just on the website. We can have specific skills as topics in the forums. The groups are open to discussion on anything related to the thread that's posted there. Groups, I believe we are going to have for members only, and the forums, people will be able to see the discussion topics, but they will not be able to respond unless they join our website. Again, that is a safety measure. We want to make sure real people are joining the website. How to do that? Agrarian Guild, Guild of Requiem at gmail.com. That's the quickest way to get a hold of somebody in the Agrarian Guild. Express your interest in wanting to be a part of the Guilds of Requiem or the website or whatever. And one of our mentors, me, will respond, or Mikey will respond on the link to our Agrarian Guild membership form. And that's basically, once again, making sure that you are a legitimate person before we let you into the groups. Yes, I'm getting through this really, really quick today. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask them right now, and I'll kind of stop yapping my trap so that some questions can be asked. Yay, nay? Okay. We'll get along to our hurricane preparation kit. I have two links at the top of the slide. One of them is hurricanesafety.org, and it has hurricane safety checklists. The NOAA.gov also has hurricane preparation checklists and information. Biggest thing that we can stress, and that's for anything that you do: plan before there is a need. When that storm is in the Gulf of Mexico and has come over the Yucatan Peninsula, historically it is going to hit south central Texas along the coastline, and it'll come up into the hill country region and drop a lot of rain on us really fast. So that day before or 2 days before it hits our coastline, yeah, there's some planning that you can do then to try to keep and your family safe, but you're going to be hard pressed to find stuff in the stores. So one of the rules in prepping is 2 is 1, 1 is none. As soon as you open that package and there's only one left on the shelf, replace the one you just opened. It's all about planning. Have everything gathered together in one location if you have to evacuate where you are at. When I lived down in Corpus Christi, everybody had their own basket. We had change of clothes, we had medications, we had a first aid kit, any specialty foods, we had either freeze-dried or canned or sealed in vacuum sealed in bags. And we had at least a gallon of water per person. We also included a gallon of water for the pets. So don't forget Fido and Fluffy and Fifi and your pooches and your puppies and your kittens in your preparation, because they are family too. What to have in your prep kit. You should plan for 3 days of food. If you do not know how to can on your own, you're not comfortable with canned food, you don't know how to freeze, you don't have access to freeze dried, you don't have access to a dehydrator, invest in some of those 72-hour pre-made food kits. And don't wait until you need to evacuate to be eating that food. You want to make sure that you are eating the food that you are storing for your preparations. Last thing you can do is put your body under stress and then give it food that it's not used to. You're going to cause all sorts of dietary issues. So always make sure that whatever you have in your preparations to bug out with your whatever, make sure that you're rotating it through your actual dietary needs. Like I said, you can can your own food, you can buy canned foods, you can dehydrate your food. You don't have to have a dehydrator to do it. You can use your oven on a low setting. Freeze-dried food, you don't have to invest in a freeze dryer. They have freeze-dried foods in the stores. You can check within your community to see if they offer a freeze drying option. You provide your own food, they provide the freeze dryer and the knowledge. Make sure your food store includes proteins, carbs, and nutrients. Proteins are going to get you through the day. Carbs are going to give you that little boost of energy, but always make sure you're getting your nutrients, your vitamins, and your minerals. But where we're at, there's a good chance that we won't be able to just grab a basket and go. So one of the things that I recommend now is a well-made backpack. And I'm not talking about one of those things that you get for your kid that's only going to last part of the year. Because if you need a bug out and there's a chance that you're not going to be coming home anytime soon, that backpack is not going to last you, and you're going to end up trying to either leave some of your stuff behind, or you're going to have to try to make do. You're going to have to figure out, you're going to have to figure out something. So invest in that well-made backpack. Make sure you build up resilience by walking around with it fully loaded. You know what you're going to have in it. You know you're going to have food in it. You know you're going to have your clothes in it, your medications in it, some cash hiding in there. Load it up. Walk around with it, everyone, even if it's just for an hour a week, and then increase it to 2 hours a week. Build up your resistance to be able to carry that backpack. There's going to be two things. One, you're building up your ability to walk around with it and keep yourself going, and you'll be able to identify, hey, maybe it's cutting in a little bit here, that you into your chest, that you need to put extra padding. If it's got one of those straps that goes around the waist and it's hitting the waist just so that it's chafing, it gives you an opportunity to add additional padding to it. You will also need some tools and supplies. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Okay. Yeah, give me message in the middle of the thing, and I'll call in a little bit. Sorry, that's my mom. She's now living in Texas, and let's see if I can pull it up here. Am I sharing my whole page? Give me a second here. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Give me just a second. Amazon. Yes, y'all get to see what I have in my cart. Okay. So let's come back to the Zoom, and I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to share my whole screen. So yes, Mikey, there's your little, there's your present coming, Mikey. You can see it right there.
I promise I'm not looking. I'm not looking.
well, right next to it, yes, it is bright pink. Why do I have bright pink for my stuff? I have vision issues. So I want to make sure that I'm going to be able to see my bag readily. As you can see, it has gloves, it has a knife, it's got a flashlight. You can, let's see if I can zoom in here a little bit. It's got some fishing line, it's got a pole saw, it's got a whistle with the compass, a little first aid kit, even though I carry my own. This is a multi-tool card. It's got a and it all fits into this one pack. That's what I think is really great. It is also uses the Molly system, which is what I have on my backpack. It makes it real easy because I can attach it firmly. I can rip and go on something that I need. It buckles closed. If anybody has been to any of the events where I am at, that is basically what I have my medications in. So, I mean, you can also get your own bags. They're really well made in what they do. They're really well made in, okay, I'm going to have to stop this. This is down to the last end. But I will get this up as soon as I can.